It began with a scream, high, broken, and swallowed by the empty road. At 2:13 a.m., a passing truck driver thought he saw something lying in the dust. He slowed. Then he stopped. And the moment he stepped out of his cab, everything changed. The shape on the roadside wasn't an animal. It wasn't debris. It was a girl. A teenage girl. Barely breathing. Barely moving. Her fingers twitching in the dirt like she was trying to write something. One last message, one last clue. And whoever did this to her had disappeared into the night. The driver's voice shook as he called 911. Please hurry. She's still alive. I don't know how, but she's still alive. TikTok style beat. Cut. Freeze frame. Who was this girl? And who wanted her dead?
Welcome, truth seekers. This is a crime ledger, where we dive deep into the world's most compelling criminal cases and unsolved mysteries. If you're ready for the deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe, and let's begin.
Her name was Amelia Reyes, 15 years old, born prematurely, diagnosed with a mild neurological disability that made her walk with a slight limp and speak a little slower than other kids. But everyone who knew her used the same two words: sweet and harmless. She had a habit of hugging her backpack like it was a shield. She loved drawing, mostly butterflies, sometimes hearts. And she never missed school even when her legs hurt. Amelia lived with her mother in a tiny apartment on the east side of town, an area people described as rough on the edges, dangerous in the middle. Her mom worked 2 jobs. Most nights Amelia was home alone. But on the day everything happened, Amelia didn't go straight home from school. She made a detour. A tiny decision. A small step off her routine path. And it would cost her everything. 4:48 p.m. school cameras catch her exiting through the side gate. She's smiling. Her sketchbook is tucked under her arm. A classmate later told investigators, she said she wanted to buy drawing pencils, the good ones. The store was only 4 blocks away. 4 blocks. But to get there she had to cross the vacant lot behind the old bus depot, a place teenagers hung out, smoked, fought, drank, filmed TikToks, and disappeared when police drove by. At 5:12 p.m., someone filming a prank video accidentally captured Amelia walking past in the background. A few men can be seen turning their heads as she walks, noticing her, tracking her. No one realized the significance of that clip until days later. At 5:27 p.m., Amelia is seen one last time, on a traffic camera, heading toward the far end of the lot. After that, nothing. She vanished. It took investigators 48 hours to identify the 4 men seen in the viral clip. 4 men who, coincidentally, had all been in and out of jail. But here was the problem. Each one had an alibi. Each one claimed they went their separate ways after hanging out near the depot. They denied seeing Amelia. They denied talking to her. They denied everything. Police asked, "Why do you appear to be following her in the video?" One of them laughed. "She walked by, man. So what?" But investigators noticed something chilling. All 4 men used the same specific phrase: "I never talked to her." Not, "I didn't touch her." Not, "I didn't follow her." But, "I never talked to her." A detail that instantly felt rehearsed. Still, there was no physical evidence. No witnesses. No body. Just a missing girl. Until the truck driver found her. When paramedics arrived, Amelia was unconscious. But something caught their attention immediately. She had ink smeared on her fingertips. Black ink. As if she had been holding a marker, or writing. Nearby, in the dirt, partially erased by wind and dust, was a single shaky letter. Was she trying to spell a name? Was she identifying her attackers? Was it the first initial of someone she knew? Police stared at that one-letter clue like it was the last puzzle piece of a 1,000-piece nightmare. But the biggest shock came when paramedics cut open her jacket. Inside the lining, sewn carefully into the fabric, was a tiny slip of paper, her mother's emergency contact info. Her mom later explained, "She always carried it. I told her if she ever got lost or scared, to keep something with my number." The detail gutted investigators. She was just a child. A sweet, innocent girl. Someone who planned for getting lost, not brutally attacked. When doctors ran tests, they found something unexpected. There were traces of a specific cheap liquor in her system. A brand known to be sold only at one liquor store. The liquor store next to the bus depot. Security footage from 6 p.m., 30 minutes after Amelia disappeared, showed the 4 men again, buying that same liquor, laughing, high-fiving. And one of them, barely visible behind the others, had a fresh scratch across his cheek. Investigators paused the clip, zoomed in. The scratch was small, but it was there. And suddenly, all 4 alibis cracked. Police pulled the men in again. This time, the tone was different. "You told us you didn't see her," detectives said, "but you were still at the bus depot 30 minutes after she vanished." The men shifted, rolled their eyes, shrugged. Then something happened no one expected. One of the 4 men, Ramon Ortega, smirked. A slow, unsettling smirk. He leaned back in his chair, crossed his arms, and said, "You can't prove anything." Investigators noted the shift instantly. The first sign of arrogance. The first crack in the facade. The first clue that something darker was hiding underneath. But still, he wasn't confessing. None of them were. The detectives needed more. 3 days after Amelia was found, police returned to the depot area. Again. They searched dumpsters, searched alleyways, searched old shipping containers. Nothing. Until a rookie officer, barely 6 months on the job, noticed a tiny dot of blue under a stack of broken pallets. A pen cap. Not just any pen cap, the same brand of sketching marker Amelia used for her drawings. When investigators lifted the pallets, they found a torn page from Amelia's sketchbook. On it was a drawing. Shaky, rushed, but unmistakable. 4 figures. 4 shadows. 4 men. And one of them had a scratch across his face. Detectives stared at that drawing like they were seeing a ghost. Amelia, terrified, alone, outnumbered, had tried to leave behind the only evidence she could. She didn't have the strength to speak, but she drew her truth. With the recovered drawing, investigators applied for warrants. Phones, vehicles, clothes. And then, finally, something clicked. On the phone of the smirking man, Ramon, they found a deleted video. A 9-second clip. Shaky, dark, barely visible. But in the corner, you could see Amelia's backpack. The prosecution would later describe that clip as the moment everything shifted from suspicion to certainty. The men were arrested on the spot, but there was still one problem. Amelia was still unconscious. She couldn't testify. She couldn't identify them. Or could she? 26 days after being hospitalized, Amelia finally opened her eyes. Her mother cried. Doctors stood stunned. Investigators rushed in. She couldn't talk much. Her voice was barely a whisper. But when detectives showed her the 4 photos, she lifted a trembling hand. Her finger hovered, stopped, and pointed. Ramon Ortega. Then she pointed to another, and another, and another. 4 men, 4 names, 4 monsters. But then, with a sudden burst of panic, Amelia tapped her own chest. Then she drew a shaky shape in the air. A square. A phone. Investigators realized immediately. She was trying to tell them something about a phone. When detectives reviewed Ramon's device again, they discovered a second deleted folder. Hidden, encrypted, but recoverable. Inside were multiple voice notes, and one of them, one single 6-second clip, changed everything. A man's voice said, "Grab her. Don't let her run." A second voice responded, "She can't run. Look at her." That was it. But it was enough. The trial took 7 months. The community packed the courtroom every single day. Prosecutors presented the video, the drawing, the liquor store footage, the scratch, the voice notes, the attempted cleanup, the lies, the matching timelines. All 4 men were convicted. Some got life, some got decades. None walked free. But here's where the story becomes unsettling. During sentencing, Ramon Ortega leaned into the microphone, smiled, and said, "She wasn't supposed to survive." A cold wave swept through the courtroom. Reporters stopped typing. Even the judge froze. And to this day, investigators believe there might have been a 5th man. Someone watching. Someone directing. Someone who never appeared on camera. Someone Amelia might have been trying to write the letter M for. A 5th shadow. A 5th suspect. A 5th unanswered question. And that's why, to this very moment, this case isn't closed emotionally. Not for the community. Not for investigators. Not for Amelia. Because sometimes the monsters are caught. And sometimes, one slips away into the dark, leaving behind only a letter in the dirt, and a teenage girl who refused to die without telling her story.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more gripping true crime stories told like never before.